As you embark forward together, I would encourage you to remember how hard you fought to be here and why. Be true to the vows that you make today. Be true to yourselves, be true to each other. And as you choose to walk together, be true to your path. Let the days you experience change you, grow, and don't fear. As long as you walk together, you will never walk alone.
I'd watched Vikings, actually, and Cameron one of the characters reminded me of Cameron a lot, and so I was like, I really, really, really like this guy. And then I think honestly I knew I was going to be with him for the rest of my life. Was our first road trip to Las Vegas together after we got back together. And we were in a car for 12 hours, and it didn't feel like 12 hours, and we just talked and talked and talked.
When I realized that I wanted to marry Summer is when I expressed these emotions to her. I just couldn't see my life with anyone else, so it just started to make sense after I expressed those and saw her reaction. So it was around that time that I knew that I wanted to marry her, because I felt that if I actually opened up to her, that she wouldn't reject me.
I've never been with somebody in my life who has disarmed my masculine and allowed me to be in my feminine until I was with Cameron. I always had to be the strong one. I always had to be the one who took care of things. He makes me feel safe enough to relish in my femininity.
How I feel when I'm with her, it feels like the home that I was always looking for. But I finally found that in a person, and it just feels warm and safe, and it just feels like the place I'm meant to be.
We are gathered today to witness and celebrate the marriage of Summer Yates and Cameron Excel.
When I was asked to share a few remarks during this ceremony, I have to admit I had a hard time thinking of what to say, especially to someone that seemed to have it all together, that had gone through a lot and had accomplished a lot. So, considering your mature stature, of course my thoughts went to fairy tale princesses. I'm sorry, but these people were really messed up. And so is the difference between fairy tales, dreams, and reality. In reality, even princes and princesses are not perfect. We all have problems. And then there's happily ever after. Come on. If fairy tales were true, and dreams really did come true, I would have a physique like yours, and we know that's all not going to happen right away. What you have takes commitment, dedication, and a lot of hard work. As with body conditioning, happily ever after is a process. To build muscle, you must break it down and let it heal and grow back. Happily ever after is achieved when a couple works together to overcome each other's character flaws and faces the trials and challenges that life gives them.
Today, Cameron and Summer will mark a transition as a couple, not only by celebrating the love between themselves, but also by celebrating the love between all of us in attendance. Without that love, today would be far less joyous. Again, thank you. Let's begin.
Summer. I spent the majority of my life looking for my person, hoping and believing in love and putting my heart out there, even though it never worked out well. But I still kept looking. And then 3 years ago, I invited a beautiful girl on Hinge and set up a date on May 31st, and we talked about fitness and anime for 3 hours. Since that day, my life has changed. I felt a pull and a draw towards you that hasn't stopped. But it hasn't always been ups. There's been some downs too. Like when I broke up with you. and regretted it the next day and wanted to get back together. But we stayed apart for about 7 months, and every day I'm thankful that that wasn't the end of our story. I got the chance and had the courage to tell you how I really felt and what I really wanted. I know you say I am the colorful one, but if you weren't here, my life would be so gray. I couldn't bear it. It's because of you that I have color in my life. Kind of crazy what a steak dinner with a girl in a sundress from a dating app will do, huh? I love you more than I have words to express, so I hope my actions can communicate the feelings I'm not able to adequately put into written or spoken form. And most important of all, I promise to love you on all the good days and the bad days, in sickness and in health, in prep and in off season, and until my dying breath. I love you to the moon and back forever.
Cameron, I've been thinking over and over about what I wanted to say today. I kept starting from scratch. Everything I began felt hollow. I'm told I have a gift with words, but I was coming up short. How could I do it justice? In this struggle, my mind drifted to a particular journal. With a particular entry, I tried to find it many times over the last 3 years, but had no luck. Yet the journal continued to come to mind. So early in May, on a day I'd been homesick, I searched for it. To my surprise, the journal was easily found, almost in plain sight. Although I'd wanted to share this entry with you many times over the years, the universe apparently had different ideas. That entry was meant to be shared today. I wrote, May 10th, 2020. I'm not ready to write down everything that's happened. I'll get there, but not for a while. Tonight, I'm not going to journal about the past. I'm going to journal about the future. I'm going to start so strongly, only focusing on what I want. I will manifest my future, and the universe will provide. Because I know I am meant for so much more than this. I also will have met my soulmate, my second twin flame, the flame of my rebirth. It won't happen too long from now. Likely it will be before I'm 33. He's gonna be tall, muscular, active and fit. His shoulders will be broad, his waist tight, his legs thick. I will be terrified, but I will know to my core that we are fated. We are endgame. I am safe. I am finally home. It has become normal for women in society to say, we don't need men. But Cameron, oh, how I need you. When we came back together in May 2021, I knew those lists were about you. It was always you. You are all safety, all peace. I have never known love until I met you. Everything was worth it. We were fated. You are endgame. I am finally safe. I am finally home.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to announce for the very first time, Mr. and Mrs. Excel. At a traditional Nordic wedding, following the ceremony, the families of the bride and groom would race to the feast hall. The losing family would have to serve the other for the remainder of the night.
We've made it to the other side singing, oh mama, oh mama. When I first met Summer, she was just immediately very warm. And the thing that I noticed first was how attentive Cameron was to her. And I could just tell that his feelings for her were so strong. I could just see that so easily when I first met them. And since then, I've gotten to know Summer more. I got to know her heart. I got to know her compassion. She has been through a lot, but it's made her softer. It's made her more kind. And I think that's an incredible quality to have. And I think growing up with Cameron, I know how big his heart is. I know What a little teddy bear you are. And so I do think it speaks volumes that he has trusted Summer with his heart, with all the love that he has.
I think that Cameron and Summer are the definition of a power couple. They both want to see not only themselves succeed, but everyone around them. They're both goal-oriented, willing to put in the work. Both revolve their life around emotional, physical, and mental health. They have a vision of where they're going and want to push each other to their mutual goals. I wholeheartedly admire their relationship.
There's probably not one person in this room that hasn't at one point or another come to you for help, and you sit there and you serve willingly. And Summer sits there by your side day in and day out, allowing you to do that, supporting you to do that. And that in itself is a beautiful thing for you two to unite and help others.